Welcome back to the story of Jonah. Do you remember what happened? God told Jonah to go and warn the Ninevites that he was going to destroy them unless they changed their ways. But Jonah, instead of obeying God, he went in the opposite direction. He jumped on a ship, and then the ship got in a storm, and he realized that it was because he'd been unfaithful to God. So the captain threw him overboard, and that's where we take back up the story. That sounds like the end of the story, said Dan. You might well think so, said Jonah. And I must say, I thought my last hour had come. I was freezing cold and half full of salt water, and I couldn't swim. I was about to go under for the last time when suddenly up came an enormous fish. What kind of fish? I don't know, but it was huge. I hardly had time to look at it before it opened its great mouth and swallowed me whole.
How?
Just like the worm, said Rachel. Just like the worm, but at least I was safe from the sea. What about the ship? Asked Dan. That was safe too. Later I heard that the storm had died down and they got to land safely. But believe me, it wasn't much fun inside that fish. 3 whole days and nights I was in its belly. I marked up each day on one of the ribs, and it got hotter and smellier and more uncomfortable. And every time the fish had a tummy rumble, it sounded like a thunderstorm. So what did you do? Asked Dan. Prayed to God. That's what I did. Said I was sorry. Praying's the best thing you can do when you're in real trouble. And believe it or not, God heard me all the way from the bottom of the sea, because the next thing I knew, the fish opened its mouth and spat me out onto dry land. Because God told it to? Asked Rachel. The fish probably had tummy ache, said Dan. Maybe both, said his uncle, but I'd hardly had time to see where I was when God started talking to me again. Oh no, I thought, what now? Up you get, Jonah, he said. Go to Nineveh and tell the people that if they don't mend their ways, I, God, shall destroy them all, and their city too. Well, I seem to have heard that before, somewhere, only this time I knew better than to run away. I ran all the way to Nineveh instead. And I got up in the marketplace and I told everyone just what God had said, and they believed me. Everyone from the king down. They did away with all their rich clothes and put on sackcloth instead, and they stopped eating to show they really meant to mend their ways. So then what? Asked Dan. Did God let them off, after all? Yes, he did, worse luck, answered Jonah. I went away and sat down outside the walls to see what would happen. I watched and I waited, but nothing did happen. I was furious, I can tell you. Although I'd done what God said, I really wanted to see God put an end to Nineveh and all its horrible people. I was angry and hot, sitting there in the blazing sun. And then God grew a leafy plant to give me shade. That was good. But the next day, he let it wither away. I got sick and tired of the whole business. I said, listen, God, I'm wasting my time sitting around here. I might just as well be dead. But God said, Jonah, stop fussing about yourself and what you think all the time. I have many more places and things and people to care for than just you. And that includes everybody in Nineveh. Then at last I understood. God loves us all. He wants to see us well and happy and being good. He cares very much for everything he has made. People, cities, ships, plants, birds and beasts, fishes large and small, and even worms, asked Rachel. Even worms, said Jonah. Hope you enjoyed the story.